minutes. Minus 9 minutes. Minus 8 minutes. Minus 7 minutes. Minus 6 minutes. Minus 5 minutes. Stand by.
How about that?
Well, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon to those who celebrate the Eastern Time Zone. Yeah, it's the RP show. We got our good guys with us today. Kevin the Medium joining us here in hour one from the Hughes Sports Podcast. And in hour two, my good friend Les Lazaruk will join us, the voice of the Saskatoon Blades. And I don't know who this Jason Voorhees is, but I want to welcome him to the RP show. He's got it going early. He says the Vegas Golden Knights are a wagon, and the Avs fans were way too cocky. That's from Jason Voorhees. So welcome, Mr. Voorhees. Get comfortable. That's his name, producer Corey. That's his name. He's in the YouTube chat. Kevin the Medium is there. He says, "Good morning, peeps. What's up, big time?
How you doing, buddy?
How are you?"
You know what? If I was any better, they'd have to make me twins.
And nobody wants that. Okay,
Everybody
let's get
wants
down
that.
to business. Let's get down to business. The big story as we roll out the quick six show topics here in the warm-up, brought to you by our friends Uniglobe, Carefree Travel, and Neil Chark in Vancouver. There's a G in Vancouver. Kevin the Medium taught me that. It's his hometown. The number one thing is the Vegas Golden Knights. Dylan Coghlan scored his first playoff goal to get Vegas rolling. Caught a hot, made 36 saves, and the Golden Knights opened the Stanley Cup Western Conference Final by holding off the Colorado Avalanche 4-2 Wednesday night. That's the big story, Kevin. Here's the thing. You're a Canucks fan. Sorry for that. And I asked you, because you're living in the southwest corner of the rectangle, Saskatchewan. I said, how's it, because they love hockey there, how's it going over with the Golden Knights and all the discipline they've faced in the Stanley Cup playoffs? Since you're the guest, because I said a lot on the Golden Knights yesterday. Tell me how it's going over where you hang your hat.
I think most people are the same as I am. The Golden Knights decided to send a message and didn't think the league would react the way they did, and the league slapped back. And people are actually kind of giggling, kind of like, you thought you were going to get away with that? Come on. So yeah, it's been that nobody's feel sorry for the Vegas Knights. Let's face it.
Okay.
I know you and I have difference of opinions on the Knights. They've been handed everything on a silver platter since they've joined the league. And it's about time the league smacked them back. I'm kind of sitting over here with a smile on my face. It's like that spoiled brat that you see on the playground that finally gets his knumpkins from the bigger boy and gets punched in the nose. It just makes my heart
So you're making up words today, his conundrums. The actual term is his comeuppance.
That's the word. Thank you.
Yeah. And I'll speak about this on the Golden Knights' behalf. Listen, this ain't new. Like, I'm going back through my photo library. They've kind of been my team since they came into the league for a variety of reasons, long before you and I even knew each other. But I've been saying this over the past couple of weeks. The expansion draft rules being relaxed for them haunts them and dogs them. But I'll tell you what, they'd have been successful even under the old rules. As God is my witness, they would have been, because I know these guys. But you know what? But Kev, so listen, I'm pulling for them, but I didn't think they'd win last night. And you said that they cost you money.
They did. Well, I had a parlay, a three-team parlay, and I lost it every single one, Rod. Not one team came through for me. I went out and I asked a buddy of mine who's a sports betting guru, and I said, Kelly, like, I need to add a third bet to my rotation here. And he said, take the Spurs. It's a gift. That's his words. It's a gift. And I had 7.5 points, and they still lost. I lost the Spurs. I took the over on baseball, and I took Colorado.
You know what's funny, by the way, where we're going to take the little off ramp to how this show's different than every other one that's on your screen? I was out the other night with some college football players, and believe it or not, I mean, I don't know why they invited the old guy out, but they did, me. And they were talking about strippers. And the kid said, I'm not really into strippers. And I said, me either. I've never really been into strippers. And the kid goes, I work far too hard for my money to throw it away at the strip club. And I'm like, and then I'm sitting here, Kev, going, at least at the strip club, you're getting something out of it. Like, you might as well just taken that money last night and just burnt it. Lit it on fire and put it in a pail. Why would you bet on the NBA?
I never bet on the NBA. Never.
Well, you did.
Did. I listened to somebody else, and I should have just left it with my two. I still would have lost. I still would have lost the same amount of money.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's funny, by the way. Everybody, the comments are coming in. It's all good. Everybody's in a good mood. At least I hope that they are. But I remember walking in.
I lost, Rod?
$2, $5, $10. I don't know.
$5.
$5. That's $5 is $5. That's a couple of cups of coffee. I remember walking into the casino at the airport in Burnaby, BC. What's the casino close to the airport there? Do you remember? You must know the name. You're a gambling guy. You're from there. It don't matter. I walked in with my old color commentator, Terry, and he drops $125 down on one blackjack hand and loses. I'm like, you could have given me the money. I needed a new cell phone. Just give me the money. But I learned, and this was a long time ago, the golden rule. You know what the golden rule is? He who has the gold makes the rules. So it's his money.
It's his money.
Right? He could drop 125 on one hand of blackjack. It's your money that you can bet on. But I'm just like, the NBA for reals? When's the last time you won on a sports bet, Kev?
2 days ago.
Okay. What was it?
Blue Jays.
Oh, okay. Well, speaking of that, we have a lot of stuff to get to here in the Quick Six Show topics. Kev was particularly tickled with our interview with Amar Doman, the owner of his favorite football team, the BC Lions, on Tuesday. So Kev wants to talk about it. We got a whole lot of CFL talk. This is just the opening segment. That's why I wanted to get Kevin's take on what they're saying about the Golden Knights in his part of the world. Because as you said, there's no real rooting interest. I know that. I lived in Saskatchewan for a half century. Yeah. The NHL fandom in that town is completely split. In that province. Carlos writes in from Indiana and says, as they say, fools bet on sports. Nobody says that, Carlos. Nobody says that. The saying is a fool and his money are soon parted. That has nothing to do with gambling. It's a choice Kevin made, but nobody's ever said fools bet on sports. Some guys make a lot of money at it. Just nobody in this particular conversation. We'll be coming right back. We're brought to you by Uniglobe, Carefree Travel, and our friends Neil Chark. We've got CFL, NFL, MLB, NBA for Kev because he's a big NBA guy now. So just get comfortable. We'll be right back here on the RP Show.
Across America, Country Thunder Music Festivals bring you the biggest superstars. See unforgettable performances by Zach Top, Lady Wilson, Brooks and Dunn, Keith Urban, Riley Green, the Red Clay Strays, Kane Brown, Gavin Adcock, and so many more. Join the party under the desert sky in Arizona, on the sandy shores of the Gulf in Florida, or in gorgeous Wisconsin Lake Country. It's the music you love, live and loud. Tickets, hotel, and camping info available at countrythunder.com.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge, big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Across America, Country Thunder Music Festivals bring you the biggest superstars. See unforgettable performances by Zach Top, Lady Wilson, Brooks and Dunn, Keith Urban, Riley Green, the Red Clay Strays, Kane Brown, Gavin Adcock, and so many more. Join the party under the desert sky in Arizona, on the sandy shores of the Gulf in Florida, or in gorgeous Wisconsin Lake Country. It's the music you love, live and loud. Tickets, hotel, and camping info available at countrythunder.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
21-time nominated Grammy Award winner Dwight Yoakam. Live in concert. June 24th, 7 p.m., Temple Garden Center. Dwight Yoakam. On sale now at sasktix.ca. Dwight Yoakam Live.
It's the RP Show. When we talk hockey, it's brought to you by the Mad Greek Eatery. Are you craving the famous Greek ribs everybody's talking about? I swear they're the best you'll ever have. I'm not joking. Check them out at the Mad Greek Eatery. Dine in, pick up, or order online. We've been talking hockey. We've been talking betting. And before we go any further, BW is watching in Edmonton, Kev, and he's also writing you on YouTube. But he says, there's a saying, he goes, hard work is never quick. Heard that the other day. You're not doing this as a living. You bet for fun. You're not looking to retire on your gambling winnings, correct? You just do it for fun.
I just do it for fun. If I was doing this for a living, I'd be crawling my way down to Florida, homeless and broke, knocking on Rod's door, asking if I could sleep on his couch.
Well, you have an open invite. There's no doubt about that. But with regards to that, about hard work, not comes easy, whatever. There's a great line in the show Landman from the Billy Bob Thornton character who said the shortcuts always end up being the longest road. That's nothing to do with gambling, but I never, ever forgot that, which reminds me, the new spin-off series, Dutton Ranch, premiered Friday night. Episode 1 dropped. Did you watch it?
I did. Great show.
Oh, yeah. If that ain't Saskatchewan in a nutshell, in Alberta, right? Oh my God,
yep.
Yeah, it's good. I really love it. Dutton Ranch now streaming on Paramount. Okay, before we do go to the football, point 2 is hockey. The Montreal Canadiens are on the road once again. This time for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final. We all know the story by now. Montreal took out Tampa Bay. Montreal took out Buffalo. Carolina hasn't lost a game yet. They're 8-0 after 2 sweeps. Are you betting on tonight's game, Kev? Game 1? I'm interested to know. Carolina at Montreal.
You know what? In the break, I'm like, who should I take in tonight's game? And I'm like, I'm going to wait till I hear Rod's predictions, and I'm going to actually bet. Whatever Rod chooses, I'm going to bet
take the opposite.
The rest of this series.
You get the same pick as me or the opposite of me?
The same. I'm going to pick whatever you pick. That's where I'm putting my $5 down on.
Okay. Well, I'm going to stop right now and tell you that our picks are brought to you, as always, by Pump Jack Steakhouse and Saloon. Come early and stay late at the place where friends meet. Be my first stop when I get back to the Queen City and Moose Jaw area. Come early, stay late at the place where friends meet, as I say, Pump Jack's Cathedral, Pump Jack's Weyburn. I'm taking Carolina, in part because I have to. Tuesday night I was asked by one of my big Hab fan friends, because trust me, I got a lot of friends that are Hab fans. Matt Dubuck here in Fort Lauderdale, he was like, who are you picking? And I said, Carolina. He goes, good. I'm like, rude. Because he says my picks are cold. So maybe they are. I don't know. But it's an NHL record 11 days off for Carolina. I mean, I'll say this. You could sit, I've been saying it all week, and go through all these series, or at least the two that are left, and go through all the categories. It doesn't matter anymore. The teams are so good. To sit and say who's got the goaltending edge, the defensive edge, the forwards edge, the special teams edge, the coaching edge, it doesn't matter at this point. The hockey's going to be great. We kind of saw that last night.
Yes. And I mean, it is a long time to be off. 11 days off. It's never happened before in the NHL. One team's played 8 games. The other team has played 14. Who has the advantage? The team that's been grinding or the team that's been resting and healing? You could go literally either way and have an argument, and a legitimate argument for either one. I'm thinking the Canes are going to, it's not going to go only 4. I think 6, and I'm hoping for Montreal in 6.
Sure, but we break it down in game by game.
Yes.
And so I got Carolina, and for that reason, Kevin's taking Carolina. They'll decide it on the ice, but it's very hard at this time of year because these are the best teams. But Carolina tied their best franchise season ever. They're rolling. They're motivated. So we'll see. Yeah. It's going to be great hockey. Okay, so to point 3, I don't know if you saw this, Kev, and I figured if you had seen it, you would have sent it to me. I just saw it this morning. Former CFL player Arlen Bruce III was awarded $25,000 in damages by an arbitrator after suffering a concussion back in a 2012 CFL game. The amount is significantly lower than the $310,000 Bruce had been seeking. In a May 6th decision, arbitrator Alan Ponick ruled both the BC Lions and Montreal Alouettes committed 3 breaches of the CBA related to concussion management. I say that for a lot of reasons. It's CFL News. Arlen Bruce watches this show every day. He was on it just a couple of weeks ago. AB didn't say anything to me about this. To be honest, I mean, I'm not going to talk about him, but I would imagine the legal fees associated with this. Arlen's not walking away with anything in his pocket, I wouldn't think, after this. So I guess there's a ruling on it, but did you hear that?
I didn't. You're breaking news to me. But what a precedent it sets. Has it changed a lot since Arlen played the game? Yes. I think the leagues around the world are taking your bell being rung, as we used to call it when we played football, a little more seriously than they used to. So good for Arlen to hang in there. Does it do him any good on his quest to be recognized as one of the greatest to play the games?
Well, we know that. We already know that. He's won 2 Grey Cups. People still talk about the guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just the addendum to the story or the footnote or whatever you want to say. But that came out in the news. I just saw it this morning for the news service that I subscribe to for this show. By the way, from the audience, Jeff the Stamps fan says, Dutton Ranch, great. Jason in Red Deer says, Dutton Ranch is amazing so far. Now, I think it's going to be fantastic. Ryan from upstate New York has checked in. Cardinal Ryan says, good day, Rod Squad. Hope everyone is enjoying their Thursday. Oh, we absolutely are. Oh, by the way, in Vancouver, Vancouver Eric writes in, has to do with these concussions. He says, Guardian caps for everybody on the field is coming. I happened to be out the other night. I've talked about the outing that I had last week at La Bomba Mexican restaurant. There was football coaches. I was surrounded by all of them. And one of them was Ed Warner. He was the offensive coordinator for the Ohio State Buckeyes when they won the Natty under Urban Meyer. He coached at Michigan, FAU. That's why he's here. And they were talking about this. Football coaches, Kev. These guys will all get excited about this, and you too. He said the Guardian caps will cause more of a injury than non-Guardian caps because when the helmets hit, they slide off each other. And the Guardian caps, there's no slipping, causing more of a king. This is a guy. This is just guys talking, okay, over burritos.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying this is what the football guys were talking about the other night. You played the game. How do you feel about that?
You know what? I never thought of it until you said it. Because a lot of times when you do hit the helmets, they slide. With those rubber caps, will they grab and will it cause more neck injuries, shoulder injuries? Yeah, interesting take. I think Guardian caps are going to change the way they look and the way they are put on. Let's face it, helmets haven't changed in years. I mean, they've been the same for a long time. I think that evolution is coming sooner or later, where just like in hockey, I mean, helmets wasn't a thing. I mean, how many times can you picture one of the greatest players going down the ice with his hair flowing behind him? You don't see that anymore. So I think it's going to change. I hope so.
Well, what's interesting about that is, so that was last week at La Bamba Mexican restaurant. This week at that football orientation night we had the other night, one of the coaches came up to me and he asked me about hockey. He's like, "Oh, you're a hockey guy. So do those guys, do they suffer from post-career?" I said, "Yeah, they do. I don't think to the degree of football players, because you don't have the contact that football players do. But I got a lot of great friends that were fighters that had their brains open up after they passed away, and there was CTV, but CTE, sorry, and that's this." So, I mean, there's been millions of dollars, maybe, well, not billions, I don't think, but a lot of millions spent on research on this, and I kind of sit here and wonder, how far ahead are we? You said it's come a long way, but how far ahead are we really?
Well, I mean, if you look at it, how long ago did we wear leather helmets? In the big picture, it wasn't that long ago. So we've come a long way, even with helmets, with the air input into helmets now. And I think with the Guardian caps, I think that's a revolutionary. And I think someone somewhere is going to be able to incorporate that concept inside the helmet, rather than this big thing outside the helmet. Because how big can you get outside the helmet before it's cumbersome?
Well, Utah Darren writes in and says the Guardian caps also increase the size of the helmet area, increasing head-to-head contact. Now, listen, I didn't expect to be talking about this today. I brought it up with the Arlen Bruce situation. And, do we say Arlen successfully sued the CFL? I guess so, because he got $25,000 out of it, but it wasn't what he was looking for. But anyways, beyond that, to a happier topic, there are 4 CFL preseason games this weekend. Friday night, Ottawa-Montreal meeting, a Saturday tripleheader. And maybe before looking forward, we should look back. What were your takeaways from the interview with Amar Doman, the owner of the BC Lions, the other day that everybody enjoyed?
Man, I could listen to that guy talk for hours. I want him on the show on a regular. Wouldn't it be great if we could get owner on your show every week, a different owner every week during the season? How great would that be? The guy is just so, you could tell when he talks how passionate he is about this sport. He didn't buy the team to become rich. He bought the team because he is rich, and it's his passion, and you can tell. Biggest thing that stood out, and it was such a small portion of that interview, was when you asked him about a team in Kelowna. And it was, I can't even remember the exact verbiage he used, but there seems to be, from what he said, there's a lot of work happening behind the scenes for expansion that we're not being told about. It was one of those, ooh, did you see? I watch people's facial reactions, and I saw something in his eyes, a twinkle or something when you mentioned expansion, where he went, I know something you don't know. I think it's coming quick.
Well, here's hoping. But it did. But the sense that I got from that, I didn't see that twinkle, but I got the sense that he's not interested in a team going in Kelowna when he said, "We're BC's team."
Yes,
right. That's why the Leafs don't want a team in Hamilton. The Rough Riders don't want a team in Saskatoon. I got the sense Amar Doman doesn't want a team in Kelowna.
And when you look at it, I mean, a professional team needs corporate sponsorship. That's the only way a team survives. There isn't that corporate sponsors in Kelowna. So it would be tough to hold a team in Kelowna, even though I think it would be cool. He did say it would make a great rivalry, but There's other places, and I'm not going to go to Halifax because I'm tired of hearing the Schooners. But how about Quebec? There would be a great rivalry there. The Northeast,
Kevin Hughes has just entered the no-fly zone. Kevin's just entered the no-fly zone. I'll do my Mike Flory impetation. Stay on target. Stay on target. I mean, you guys want to have a news conference and tell us where you're expanding to? Great. But I'm not interested sitting here today to sit and speculate as to where it will be. Look, man, fool me once, shame on me. You fool me 87 times. Shame on all of us. I'm tired of it. Yeah, like you saw, I put on Facebook, who's going to win the Grey Cup? Justin Pilardi, the former CFL kicker, wrote in the Atlantic Schooners. I'm like, it's not even a team.
I saw that.
Like it's a mental derangement. So until there's something to talk about, I'm not talking about it. Like enough. Come on, please, Uncle. By the way, hang on, 902-518-3033. God bless everybody for wanting to talk about it, but I don't, and it's the Rod Pedersen Show. We'll be back and look at this weekend's games and everything else, and I'll cool down when we come back. You're watching the RP Show, YouTube live streaming, and everything else.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
Across America, Country Thunder Music Festivals bring you the biggest superstars. See unforgettable performances by Zach Top, Lainey Wilson, Brooks and Dunn, Keith Urban, Riley Green, the Red Clay Strays, Kane Brown, Gavin Adcock, and so many more. Join the party under the desert sky in Arizona, on the sandy shores of the Gulf in Florida, or in gorgeous Wisconsin Lake Country. It's the music you love, live and loud. Tickets, hotel, and camping info available at countrythunder.com.
Dean, Brody, and the Reclaws teaming up for the Hometown Heroes Tour.
If there's work, you know I'm gonna work.
Live at Temple Garden Center, November 9th.
Can't blame nobody else. I can't help myself.
Two of Canada's biggest country acts. One stage, one unforgettable night on the Hometown Heroes Tour. Tickets on sale now at the Temple Garden Center box office or online at sasktix.ca.
Across America, Country Thunder Music Festivals bring you the biggest superstars. See unforgettable performances by Zach Top, Lainey Wilson, Brooks and Dunn, Keith Urban, Riley Green, the Red Clay Strays, Kane Brown, Gavin Adcock, and so many more. Join the party under the desert sky in Arizona, on the sandy shores of the Gulf in Florida, or in gorgeous Wisconsin Lake Country. It's the music you love, live and loud. Tickets, hotel, and camping info available at countrythunder.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Text line is for Western Dodge, as you know, 902-518-3033. Or you're looking to trade up. Western Dodge makes it easy with top dollar trade-ins and unbeatable deals. It's not a Football Friday, but we are in CFL season, and Kevin the Medium is with me from the Hughes Sports Podcast. CFL and football are his number one, and I'll get back to that in a second. But I should mention, two things, Kev. Number one, I'm getting trolled for now throwing my support behind the Vegas Golden Knights. People are writing into this show going, are you going to be cheering for another team in 2 weeks anyways? Don't worry about it. We're airing in Vegas. It would behoove me not to support the Golden Knights. That. Number two, our poll question, which I didn't even mention, is for Country Thunder. The biggest party this summer is coming to Craven, Saskatchewan, July 9th to the 12th, featuring Lainey Wilson, Creed, and the RP show. The poll question is, who's the leader for the Conn Smythe Trophy as NHL Playoffs MVP? These are the options. Montreal goalie Jakub Dobeš, Vegas forward Mitch Marner, who's leading the playoffs in scoring, or 3, Logan Stankoven, who you haven't heard his name from, but he set a Hurricanes record for scoring goals to open 3 straight games in both series. Logan Stankoven of the or other. And leading the poll is Jakub Dobeš of the Montreal Canadiens. Who would you vote for, Kev?
I voted for Marner. Just when you're that scoring that many goals, how can you not be a contender? I mean, and I went back and forth between the two of them, Montreal's goalie, but I took Marner.
Well, and how about this? Vegas has the goals leader in Dorofeyev, the points leader in Marner, and the assist leader in Jack Eichel. They're rolling. Anyways, thank you for that, producer Corey, for the Country Thunder graphic. Jason in Red Deer writes in, he says, the trolls obviously don't know you, Rod. You have been a fan of the Knights for a while now, pretty much since they came into the league. But hey, Brett Wilson taught me this back in the day, from Dragon's Den, the pride of North Battleford, Saskatchewan. I said to him once, how do you feel about haters? He goes, I love haters. I'm like, how could you love haters? He goes, it means they're all paying attention. He goes, if you didn't have haters, man, that's worse. Oh, okay. So troll away. Troll away. I've been dealing with it my whole life. It just means that they're paying attention. Hey, to the CFL thing for a second. Are you jealous that you're not going to be in Langford, BC? Tell me about Langford, BC, where the Lions and Elkamos are going to play on Saturday.
Langford is like right at the ferry. It's right. Yeah, it's like where the ferry goes into by Victoria. So it's like Burnaby to Vancouver, that kind of idea. No, I'm not jealous that I wouldn't fly into Victoria or Vancouver and take a ferry for 4 hours or 3 hours, whatever it is, to go see a preseason game. It's preseason. I'm not spending that kind of money to go see a preseason game. Now, am I jealous I won't be in Kelowna? Yes. I so wanted to be in Kelowna, but we made plans. We are not going to be in the country.
And that's true. You don't want people to know where you're going to be? Is that a big secret?
No, I told people where I'm going to be. We're going to Japan.
Okay, I'm just teasing you. Well, by the way, I mean, I've dedicated my life really to the media and sports media. I love it. It's my first love. Okay, it's my first love. I think everybody knows that. And I remember, and sports overall. I mean, I can go to a high school preseason game here in South Florida and enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like with the Rough Riders are playing Winnipeg. And my dad taught me that. My dad worked in the NHL for 26 years. This is all rubbed off from my dad. And a lot of people said to me, what was the most coolest thing about your dad? I said, my dad could sit and watch a Pee Wee girls game in the Milestone Memorial Arena and get just as much enjoyment out of that as watching the Dallas Stars play the LA Kings. He loved the competition.
Isn't that amazing?
Right. Yeah, he loved the kids the competition and what it means and everything. And that just rubbed off on me. So furthermore, Winnipeg plays Saskatchewan at Griffith Stadium in Saskatchewan. Just so you know, everybody here in Florida, when I tell them I'm from Saskatchewan, they're like, is that where Saskatchewan is? They actually think that's a place because of the movie Grown Ups. And I'm like, at least you've heard of it. Like, you're not getting it right. But anyways, for years, I often said that we should play somebody in Saskatoon. And I was often told by the Mucky Mucks and the tall foreheads and the suits, no, Rod, no, we can't play. And we can't play. No. Okay. Now they are. And I'm long gone. So I'll be honest. I'm jealous that I'm not there. I'm jealous that I'm not there. It's going to be fun.
Yes. Especially for Rider fans. I mean, to take that on the road. Who was it? I think it was Scruffy that you had on that was saying, why not take a regular season game on the road? And for obvious reasons, the money's in Regina. That's where the stadium is. But take a season game on the road to Saskatoon. How cool would that be?
Well, the stadium's not big enough. I mean, I understand why they don't do that. But I do like the neutral site component. The CFL is going to play in Guelph. They're going to play in Langford, BC, and Saskatoon. Look what the NFL's doing. They're doing it to 1,000 scale with 12 out-of-country games this year. So the CFL's finally getting along to it. Rob from Las Vegas writes in, and he says, my wife and I will be at the game on Saturday, Rod. They have relocated from Las Vegas to Saskatoon. And I just, as a kid, I used to listen on the radio. Jeff Courier would call the rookie game Riders and Bombers from Griffith Stadium in Saskatoon. And I never really understood why we went away from that. And now they're back. And if you care and celebrate, history does repeat itself. There's books on this. What goes around comes around. It's an actual thing. And they're actually doing it. So, yeah.
What's the saying? What is old is new again.
All of that, yes. Jason in Red Deer says, I'm seeing posts saying Aaron Rodgers has said this will be his last season. Any truth or actual news sources backing this? Well, Aaron Rodgers, he said it at the podium yesterday. But I don't blame you, Jason from Red Deer, because there's so much fake news out there. That's the one thing that I will hang my hat on, is that people will always be able to come here and get what we believe. We're not always right, like our picks from last night's game, but you know what I'm saying. Aaron Rodgers did say it at the podium yesterday. Thank God, by the way. I don't know if it was the social media police, have made people that post AI content that it says made by AI. Thank God that happened.
Oh, being the Canuck fan and everything that's happening in Vancouver right now, I have to stay off Twitter or X and Facebook as far as sports go, because there's so many stupid, you see it. Oh, so-and-so was hired as a coach of the Vancouver, and oh, really? What? And they suck you in. And you go and you look and you're like, oh, that's not it. Come on. It drives me crazy.
That's the whole way that it is. And by the way, people are addressing the Aaron Rodgers thing. I'll get to that next. But I don't really know who to blame. You are a salesman. So you know yourself, when you're selling, especially like this show, you talk to a sponsor. What do they say? What are your hits? What's your traffic?
Yes.
What's your numbers? So that's where fake news comes from. And it's not new. The sensationalizing of CNN and TMZ back in the day, even before social media was even a thing, was the same thing. They were trying to get your eyeballs, right.
Look at National Enquirer. Remember the National Enquirer sitting at the checkout stands, and you'd always have that big headline, Elvis spotted in Vegas, right? That was clickbait back then.
The thing is, their headlines were so outrageous, you just knew that it wasn't true. Sometimes the way the world is now, the crazy shit that's going on now. This is for real. No, it's true. That actually happened. I'm not going to give any examples of that, but what are you thinking?
Well, it's funny because anything I hear now, I have to double check. Even if it comes from a reliable source like Farhan Lalji, I still have to go and check because I don't believe anything that's being reported, which is sad.
It's terrible.
I guess it's good. You're supposed to double check stuff.
Yeah, I'm surprised something more catastrophic hasn't happened because of that. Anyways, Kev, we'll welcome you back tomorrow for a Football Friday. Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
We'll be right back, everybody. You're tuned into the RP Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We did a little kind of off-roading with Kevin the Medium, which we always do. We didn't really stay on the track that I'd planned, but that's okay. For instance, I didn't even say that the warm-up is brought to you by our good friends at Uniglobe Carefree Travel. Neil Chark, that's Neal Neil Chark. Score a touchdown in the Caribbean. Join CFL legend Adam Bighill and Saskatchewan Roughriders Jameer Thurman on a 7-day cruise departing from Fort Lauderdale on February 20th, 2027. A once-in-a-lifetime experience for CFL fans. Prices from $18.99, cruise only. Contact Neil Chark at Uniglobe Travel. Neil at uniglobecarefree.ca. I already told you how to spell his name. These guys are talking about my the Canada bunny hug that I'm wearing right now. It's all that I have. I don't have any Montreal Canadiens gear, and I told you that I was getting trolled, as it was for back in the Vegas Golden Knights, because people see me as the Florida NHL guy, which is not the worst thing to be known for. But this I don't have any Habs stuff, and the Habs fans have been great to me. They're long-time, lifelong friends of mine that are Habs fans. I respect them. I'm happy for them. Such a different fan base from Leaf fans that are just so depressed all the time and depressing. But this was team issue from when I was the voice of Team Canada. I got a whole closet full of that stuff, which is pretty awesome. And you can't wear it much around here in Florida because it's warm. It's warm. It's warm here. But anyways, we already made our picks. Kevin and I both were 0-for last night. We both had Colorado to beat Vegas. And tonight we both have Carolina to beat Montreal. But at this point, ole, ole, ole. How can you pick now? But that's what's great. That's what's great about these Stanley Cup playoffs. By the way, one note on the CFL playoffs, preseason, not playoffs, preseason this weekend. We'll spend far more time on it tomorrow on a Football Friday. We will. I've been following what's going on. And Rob from Vegas, you are a Bomber fan. Tell me if I have this right. I saw this courtesy of Winnipeg Sports Talk social media that Mike O'Shea will not say who's starting at quarterback nor how much time said quarterbacks will get Saturday against Sask. Sounds to me like the Zach Caleros, Taylor Elgersma thing is a little contentious, and I don't care who's looking good in practice or what the rep split is. I don't care. I'll be on a plane Saturday, so I won't even be able to watch that game, but I'll check the stats. There's a lot of intrigue for that game. That's why I went, listen, to each their own. Put that on my tombstone, the 113th story of my tombstone of all the sayings I want when I die and leave this shitty world. But one is to each their own. If you're not into preseason games, great. I'm not going to get on your back about it, but I love them, is my point on all of that. For situations just like that. Or Braden Shager, let's be honest. We built him up as the second coming of Joe Montana coming out of Monday's game at Calgary for Sask. We may never hear his name again. If all goes right, we won't. On the football vein, which is actually only point 3. Point 1 was Western Conference Final last night. Point 2 was Eastern Conference Final tonight. Point 3 is football, all kinds, CFL, not soccer. You guys are writing in here. By the way, Kirk in Toronto, which, by the way, we might have a very big soccer sponsor, like big. So I might become the soccer guy. Won't that be a trick? Kirk writes in from Toronto and says, Rod, Canada will spend $1 billion to host 13 World Cup games in Vancouver and Toronto. The money is coming from all levels of government. Like, for the love of God. I'm seeing all these headlines because I still follow the Canadian news. I'm going back there on Saturday. I'm a Canadian. Everybody's pissed off now that the price tags come due for the World Cup. What the hell did you think was going to happen? Are you for real? You're mad now at the cost of hosting this thing? You might have wanted to. Were you not paying attention when they were bidding on this and we all knew then? Oh my God, wake up. Slow news day. By the way, Bob writes in. Says, good morning, Rod and Kevin. Can't wait for the Rough Rider season to start. You guys have a great day. Signed, Bob in Medicine Hat. I just told you what I'm looking forward to for Saturday's game at Griffith State. More the Bombers thing. And what the quarterback split is there. Which, by the way, if I can say this before I go any further, it didn't track, it didn't grab the other day, and I don't know why from you people, but I said Cody Fajardo came out and said after only 2 days of training camp, we have a Grey Cup contender. And I thought, man, listen, I love Cody like family. You all know that. But I'm like, hubby, we just finished not in last place before we start using the G word. And my question to you people is, if it's not Edmonton in 5th in the West, Who will it be? Because I can tell you, Sask thinks they're good. Winnipeg thinks they've upgraded. BC thinks they're it. Calgary's given $500,000 to Vernon Adams Jr. at quarterback. Like, not everybody can win it. If it's not Edmonton and last, who will it be? It's a great question. God bless you all for following the World Hockey Championships and writing in the scores. And this is on me. But I got enough things to work on with my personal coach. I don't need to work on this one. And that is 30 years ago, my good friend Jamie Heward, who I love the fact that we've reconnected 30 years later in life. But anyways, I digress. He went to the World Hockey Championships, played for Team Canada, and said it was nothing but a big party. And I never forgot that. I'm like, well, if they're not taking it serious, why would I take it serious? And I checked out. They tell me now that I'm around the NHL people all the time that it's not like that anymore, that it's very competitive. And I'm like, I shouldn't be stuck in the old way of thinking is what I'm saying. Nobody should be, but it's really not that important to me. I'm far more into the Canadian Football League, what's going on, and the Stanley Cup Playoffs, who's still alive because we air on Las Vegas television, which is an absolute god shot of all god shots. And yeah, we talked about this on the Cats and Bolts podcast yesterday. I'm following the Florida Panthers social media channels for the results of the Worlds because there's a lot of Panthers there. Kachuk's playing for USA, Barkov's playing for Finland, and Lundell too. So I'm getting the coverage, but I'm not sitting down and watching the games. There's enough going on. I love that you guys were all talking about that, by the way. By the way, can I just say this without getting canceled? Jason in Red Deer has written in and goes, Hamilton's AHL team is the Hammers. He says, I still stand with the Hamilton Steel for the new PWHL team. Where I'm saying not getting canceled is this. I saw the name of this. They're going to be called the Hamilton Hammers. And I'm like, the women's team? Didn't they just get a women's team? They're going to call the women's team the Hammers? That's kind of a paradox. No, Rod, the AHL team's going to be, welcome to inside this crazy place. Come on, call them the women's team the Hammers. Come on, it's what? 902-518-3033. Just as I say, I'm not following the World Hockey Championships. Everybody starts writing in with the scores. I mean, were you not listening? The guys are saying with regards to news, Jeremy in Winnipeg says, I only believe something if it comes from Friedman or Schefter. There aren't too many guys. For me, it's a longer list than that. Those two guys are on it. But Dave Naylor's on that list. Obviously. Darren Dreger's on that list. Pierre LeBrun's on that list. Bob McKenzie's on that list. I feel like we could actually spend a lot of time on that. Thank you, Jason and Red Deer. He says, I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, it's too many teams, too many names, too many... What you were talking about, and we'll get into this more next hour, but Aaron Rodgers took his time before deciding he wanted to come back for a 22nd NFL season. The Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback already has made up his mind about a 23rd. There won't be one. This is it. Quote, Rodgers said Wednesday when the four-time NFL MVP was asked if this would be his final year. The 42-year-old did not expand on why he came to that conclusion when making his first public comment since signing a one-year deal to return to the Steelers on Monday. Frankly, I'm a little shocked that he came out and made this declaration, but good for him. I've never met Aaron Rodgers, but I got two very close friends who played with him. One had a locker right beside him, Torrey Gurley and John Ryan, and they love him. But it just seems to me that Aaron Rodgers wants all the attention and everything about himself. All of a sudden, this whole season is going to be the Rodgers farewell tour. I mean, let's see how it goes. But he's going to be playing for $25 million this year. Why on earth would he have walked away before this season? And I feel like if this season goes well, and I don't know that it will, this is going to have to carry over to the next hour. Because you understand where I live here, it's all NFL all the time. So that's all I hear. And the guys are saying Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy will be at each other's throats by Thanksgiving, if not before. That's what the football guys are saying. So nobody really expects that marriage to go well. I mean, they did finish last year, Rodgers and Tomlin. But, and does he have to say why? I'm just saying if it goes well, they advance in the playoffs, why wouldn't he come back? But already now this whole season is going to be about Aaron Rodgers, which is what I think is exactly what he loves and relishes. Just from what I see. Les Lazaruk joins us next hour to talk Stanley Cup playoffs, the Memmer, and more. We'll be right back on the RP Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
How about that?
Boy, oh boy, are you in luck? Because it's the RP Show. The next 60 minutes of fun and frivolity and sports talk. Streaming on the Game Plus channels. Of course, Silver State Sports in Nevada and specifically Las Vegas. Podcast and Mission Radio WQVZ. Shout out to our guy Ryan O'Radio down there running the show in the U.S. South. Mission Radio does such a great job. RP here. Tell you why I'm wearing the Canada pullover in a second. Our guest today is my good friend Les Lazaruk, the voice of the Blades, former Winnipeg Jets broadcaster. He's going to join us to talk Stanley Cup playoffs, a little bit of preseason football, and for the hockey fans, because I'm realizing have become Vegas's hockey show, and that makes me very proud, the Memorial Cup, or as we say in the industry, some of us, the Memmer, begins Friday night in Kelowna, BC. My aunt called me, or texted me the other day, and she's like, Roddy, when you're out here in Kelowna, could you find some time for us? I'm like, I'm not coming to the Memmer. Aunt Lynette, and she's like, what? She goes, well, I guess times change. I'm like, I wish I was there. I really do from a hockey perspective. But we're talking Stanley Cup playoffs, and now and when Les Lazaruk joins us in the next segment for Prairie Panels. Let's get down to business. Point one of the Quick Six show topics in this warm-up brought to you by Uniglobe Carefree Travel. Dylan Coughlin scored his first playoff goal to get Vegas rolling. Carter Hart made 36 saves, and the Golden Knights opened the Western Conference Final by holding off the Colorado Avalanche 4-2 on Wednesday night. I'll tell you this. I don't know about the people in the Western time zone, how they feel about it, but I'm loving the earlier start times. Makes it a lot easier for my hockey viewing. And here was my take on Game 1 of the Golden Knights Avalanche. I did pick Colorado to win. I thought that the Golden Knights had been through too much since the Anaheim series, and you know what I'm talking about, all off-ice stuff. But apparently that galvanized them. Colorado had a nice start briefly for like the first 5 minutes, and then I just felt like Vegas just took over. They built up a 3-0 lead, and Colorado made it 3-2. Yeah, thank God we stayed up to watch it all. They made it 3-2 with 2:21 to go on a power play goal by Gabriel Landeskog, but Nick Dowd sealed the win for Vegas on an empty netter with 44.5 seconds to go. Pavel Dorofeyev and Brett Howden also scored for the Golden Knights, who took advantage of several defensive miscommunications by the Avs as they juggled their blue line pairings with Cale Makar sidelined by an upper body injury. Now, let's just stop for a second. You watch the show every day. You know that I love the guys on NHL radio. I just love getting everybody's different opinion on everything. I don't agree with everything. But the guys on NHL radio this morning were saying that the loss of Cale Makar was a far bigger loss for Colorado than the loss of Mark Stone is for Vegas. So I'm like, come on, guys. Give Vegas some credit. Yeah, Makar's the best defenseman on the planet for sure, but Mark Stone is the heart and soul of the Golden Knights. Golden Knights sucked it up, and they really dominated Colorado in Game 1, which I don't think anybody saw that coming. By the way, our poll question today has to do with this. I mentioned Carter Hart making 36 saves. They felt that, the NHL radio guys felt that was Carter Hart's best game of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I'm a goalie guy. I was like, he's always good. I didn't think that game was any particular better than the others, but 36 saves are a lot. I don't think that the Avalanche got goalied by Carter Hart. But our poll question today, which is brought to you by our friends at Country Thunder, the biggest party of the summer is coming to Craven, Saskatchewan this July 9th to the 12th. Party in the Valley, featuring Lainey Wilson, Creed, and the RP Show. You can get your tickets now at countrythunder.com/SK. Poll question is, who is the early leader for the Conn Smythe Trophy? That's the MVP of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Frankly, I think we would all agree. The young goalie from Montreal, Jakub Dobeš. He's leading the poll, by the way. Jakub Dobeš is leading. Mitch Marner, though, is leading the Stanley Cup playoffs in points, which I don't hear much out of Toronto on that. And Logan Stankoven, is there a more under-the-radar team or player than Carolina forward Logan Stankoven, who, if I've had this right, he scored in each game, Game 1, Game 2, Game 3 of both series. First Carolina Hurricane or Hartford Whaler to do that. Logan Stankoven's been a stud. Nobody even knows who he is. And we're also, by the way, only halfway through the playoffs. That's the one thing I think everybody forgets this time of year. Takes 16 wins to get there. The Golden Knights now have 9. Still a long ways to go to get to 16. Carolina's got 8. And no losses, which reminds me, I guess we should roll into point 2 of the quick six. We'll come back on the Vegas thing in a second. But the Montreal Canadiens are on the road once again, this time for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final. Montreal will take on the Hurricanes, looking to make their first Stanley Cup Final appearance since 2021. The Canadiens are coming off back-to-back 7-game series wins against Tampa Bay and Buffalo. Meanwhile, the Hurricanes are in their second straight conference final, but have not made it to the Cup final since winning it all in 2006. That's something that we'll talk with Les Lazaruk about, because Les has been around the hockey wars for a very long time, and I call him my brother from another mother. He knows that. I also call him the Elton John of junior hockey, which I feel he's not as big on as the other one, but the whole rest versus rust argument, 11 days off for Carolina, an NHL record 11 days off. That's a lot. But Les and I have both been the voices of teams that have had very long layoffs before the Memorial Cup. Les and I both have, and the rest is a good thing. And I think it's going to be good for Carolina. Energy is a really big deal. Having said that, our Hour 1 co-host is Kevin the Medium from the Hughes Sports Podcast. We did our picks already for Pump Jack's Steakhouse and Pump Jack's Saloon. Come early and stay late at the place where friends meet. It's the best place for hockey watching. We both have Carolina to win tonight. I had Colorado to win last night. Don't at me. Because again, I thought Vegas had gone through way too many off-ice distractions, but there is the whole thing about that galvanizing a team, and that clearly happened for Vegas last night. And I'll say this also, by the way, I mean, very big on the whole to each their own concept. More and more, I feel that way. But I see some of the other hosts on this channel, Silver State Sports in Nevada, just ripping the Golden Knights. I'm like, do that at your own peril. Whether it's the way that they've handled Bruce Cassidy, both during his employment and now after, or dealing with the media, I'm like, say what you want, but I'm okay being the Golden Knights guy and having their back. And I do think they're relishing in being the villains. I really do. And again, we saw it last night in Game 1. Tony from Cochrane writes in, hey, this is why we have a vote. Tony from Cochrane writes in with a really good point. He says, right now I'd vote for Alex Newhook from the Habs for MVP. Scored the winning goal in overtime, back-to-back Game 7s. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. There's only one other guy who's done that in NHL history. Nathan Horton of the Boston Bruins. Bo writes in from the Bridge City. I should have mentioned this. Bo says, are you doing the Miller Express play-by-play? And Les is doing the Berries play-by-play as well. For those that don't know, I guess this would be new for the Nevada audience. Les and I, our upcoming guests are both, we broadcast NCAA baseball. Me for the Moose Jaw Millers, he for the Saskatoon Bear. I'm back for season 3. That's why I'm jumping on a plane on Saturday and going back to the Great White North for the summer. I can only assume that Les is doing the Berries again. You know, it's funny because our teams have had hellacious rivalries over the years, both hockey and now baseball. And Les and I still love each other as much as ever. We never ever really got into that. Well, it's on the field, the diamond, the ice, whatever. You'd like to think that Les has always been mature. I'm just new to it. So he'll be joining us next. I'm assuming he's back as the voice of the Berries, yeah. One thing that I've realized is my friends here in Florida, it's not going over well that I'm leaving for the summer. I'm like, guys, gals, I'm not going to war here. I'll be back. I do it every summer. So it's just nice. It's nice. But Jeremy in Winnipeg on this 11 days off for the Hurricanes. He says, my opinion, I'd take 2 days off. 11's too much. I'd rather keep going and keep the iron in the fire. I feel once you're out of it long enough, could be hard to get back into it mentally. Well, I'm going to ask Les. That's a great point. It's a great point. But here's the thing with the coaches and why they're so good. They'll find a way to convince the guys that it's a good thing. It's sort of like if you go on a winning streak into the playoffs, that's a good thing. But if you go on a losing streak into the playoffs, that's a bad thing. But it's a brand new season, guys. It is what it is. So you deal with it. Life is 90% what happens to you and 10% how you deal with it. Or no, 10% what happens to you and 90% how you deal with it. That's the way to the road to success. I guess we're going to see, right? Still got Carolina to win tonight. How about you, Jeremy? Who do you have to win tonight in game one? I'll say it again. I've said it ad nauseum, but it's like it's pointless now as we get to the Final Four to sit down and talk about who's got the edge in whatever categories and stats, because the teams are too good and too even, too much parity. Just sit back and enjoy the hockey, which I think we all are. Okay, point 3 as we roll on over to football here. Aaron Rodgers took his time before deciding he wanted to come back for a 22nd season. The Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback already has made up his mind about a 23rd. There won't be one. This is it, Rodgers told reporters Wednesday when the 4-time NFL MVP was asked if this would be his final year. The 42-year-old did not expand on why he came to that conclusion when making his first comments and signing a 1-year deal to return to the Steelers on Monday. I swear it's like from what I see, it's the only thing I'm hearing out of the NFL right now. Now, I am also seeing some interesting coverage out of the Vegas Raiders OTAs that are going on, and it is a very fun discussion. I'm not prepared to have it today, but who will be the starting quarterback for week 1 for the Vegas Raiders? I mean, I just thought for sure it would be Kirk Cousins, but you saw Emery Hunt come on here the other day. He's like, no, I'd be starting Fernando Mendoza. You got Cousins there as a backup. You drafted Mendoza number 1 for a reason. Play the kid. I think anybody would say we'll have an open competition in training camp. Best man wins. Yes, Carlos in Indiana. Thank you for notifying us all. The reminder. It is 1:11 Eastern for the live viewers of the RP show, 11:11 Mountain, or listeners on WQVZ. If you observe, imagine the best possible outcome and then live there. See how that works. What do you got to lose? 902-518-3033 is the text line. It's brought to you by Western Dodge. I love this fact. You understand that we could sit here and be an NFL show very easily. That has not escaped me. The second I bring up these topics, the comments just pop off. I don't really know why that is, other than the NFL's up in your face every day. Regarding Aaron Rodgers, Jason in Red Deer says the Buddhist monks at his off-season retreat probably telepathically told Rodgers to retire. Just think about this for 1 second. Because this whole 111 thing, the 1111, it's not that far off what Rodgers does, just so you know. And a couple of years ago, remember when he was trying to decide where to sign, and he ended up signing with the New York Jets when he was a free agent. But he went and had however many days, like a week, in a sensory deprivation chamber, and if I'm not mistaken, some isolated place that he went to. And everybody thought he was nuts. Just stop for 1 second and think how nice that would be. Just to turn everything off for a while. And then just listen to yourself. It ain't as crazy as you think. That's all I'm saying. It seems to be working out just fine for Aaron Rodgers, other than signing with the Jets. Carlos in Indiana says, well, you know who the hockey people are, and you know who the football people are. What do you mean by that? We have time. What do you mean by that? Carlos writes in on the live stream. And while you answer that, let me continue. To baseball. Baseball. Trey Savage outpitched Cam Schlittler in a marquee matchup between young aces, and the Toronto Blue Jays edged the New York Yankees 2-1 Wednesday night following a rain delay that lasted more than 2 hours. The righties traded zeros until the 7th inning when Toronto loaded the bases with nobody out on an infield single, a walk and a bunt single. Lefty Carlos Rodon pitches for the Yankees in Thursday's season finale. As of press time, the Blue Jays haven't announced their starter. I'd be interested to get Les's take on this when he joins us next, because apparently now, Les, we're baseball announcers. I just was reminded of that. I love the low-scoring games. The crooked numbers on the scoreboard means we're at the ballpark really late. And I'm old. So I like the low-scoring defensive battle. I like him in all sports. I can appreciate defense. I want to get Les's take on that. And the other interesting thing, too, is with all my friends in Canada, when I talk to them, what are you doing? Like, watching the Blue Jays. Every single night, every one of them. It hasn't always been that way, but that's what happens when you go to Game 7 of the World Series and everybody feels like they now know the players and they become big celebrities and household names in the country. Everybody's into the Blue Jays now. It's going to be a fun summer. Point 5, the MVP looked like the MVP again, and the Western Conference Finals are knotted up. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander bounced back from a subpar series opener to score 30 points. Alex Caruso added 17 off the bench. And the Oklahoma City Thunder beat the San Antonio Spurs 122-113 on Wednesday night in Game 2. For those that celebrate the NBA playoffs. How we doing on time there, producer Corey? As we have Les Lazaruk coming in next. Okay, thank you, Corey. I bring that all up because last hour, Kevin the Medium was with us, and he said he went 0 for 3 in his parlay. I'm like...
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live. Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Welcome back. It's time for the guest segment brought to you by Prairie Panels. Are you building a shop, barn, rink, or commercial space? I bet Les is. Prairie Panels provides high-quality insulated wall and roof panels designed for durability and energy efficiency. Visit prairiepanels.ca or call 306-985-0050. Okay, there he is, the voice of the Blades. And the Berries, Les, the viewers want to know, are you back at the mic for the Berries this year?
Certainly am, RP, absolutely.
I love it. I love it. I love to hear that. Well said. I don't know if you caught before the break. I was talking about the Blue Jays' defensive struggle against the Yankees last night, and Trey Savage on the mound for the Jays. How are you on defensive struggles in baseball games as a broadcaster?
Oh, as a broadcaster, I love it because the game just zips along. I mean, you can be with good defense and low-scoring games, you can be done in just over 2 hours, but it doesn't usually happen that way. I mean, that was a great pitching matchup last night. Savage against Schlittler, two young guys who just do a great job of mowing down hitters with their fastball and their assortment of pitches. And then the thing about it too is that when you have your team behind you to playing well defensively, then you get plays behind you as well. You're engaging your team with that, and both those guys did a great job last night for 7 innings.
Well, clearly we can jump around on a lot of things with Les Lazaruk here. And like I said, the viewers brought it up. They were excited to know. So I guess we can come back around on baseball, but you asked what we were going to talk about. It's Stanley Cup playoffs. Yeah, I'm wondering where you're sitting, where you're living. How is this Golden Knights thing going over? They're disciplined from the league and now the things that they've gone through here.
Yeah, the Golden Knights stuff doesn't really matter. In Canada that it's all about the Montreal Canadiens and whether or not they're going to end that great Canadian Stanley Cup drought, which dates back to 1993, when the Habs were the last team to win the Stanley Cup as a team based in this country. That's what people around here care about.
Okay.
I hosted the Saskatoon Blades season ticket barbecue on Tuesday, I should say, and was roundly booed because I came out and said, I don't want the Canadians to win the Stanley Cup because I'm a devoted Hab hater. So there you go.
Ooh. You got a death wish?
No, not really. I mean, I've been like this forever. This has absolutely nothing to do with nationalism, patriotism, nothing, Rod, like that. This is something that goes back 60 years for me. I'm old, let's face it. And when I first started, it was Bobby Orr coming up, and Bruins acquired Phil Esposito and Ken Hodge and Fred Stanfield, and they had a great team, but they could never beat Montreal in the playoffs. The only time the Bruins won the Stanley Cup in that era was in 1970, and the Habs missed the playoffs that year. That's the only reason why Boston won the Stanley Cup that year, because every time they came up against the Habs, they would lose, and it bothered me to no end. So I am a devoted Hab hater and have been for a long time. So I don't want them to break the Stanley Cup curse for Canada this year.
Well, trust me, I get it. And that's why a lot of people hate the Vegas Golden Knights as well, because they win a lot. And we all know the reasons. Well, I mean, I started out as a Hab fan, and my dad wouldn't allow it. So I switched over to the Oilers. That tells you a little bit of, that tells us a little bit about our age. But while I have you, was there not a rec senior team? And for our U.S. viewers, that's old timers hockey team. That's like the Canadians, and they had a replica Hab room. Like there was a guy that's an usher at your rink that I always chatted with. He played on that team. I love that guy. Is that team still together?
Actually, it's the Western Canadian Montreal Canadiens have a booster club or fan club. And yes, they do. At the Harold Latrace Arena here in Saskatoon, they have a replica of the Montreal Canadiens dressing room in one of the dressing rooms in the building from back in the Forum days, not the Bell Center days, but from the Forum days, back when the Habs were really good in that building. So, I mean, there is a group of people throughout Canada. I mean, everywhere the Canadians go and play in Canada, their fans travel well, and they almost at times drown out the opposition fans, especially when their team is doing well.
Can you at least say those Hab fans, while crazy, we all can agree on that, they're not dangerous. They just love their team. That's why I love them, and I respect that.
Oh, I respect it. I just don't like it. That's all. I did have a neighbor in Winnipeg who was right next door to me who was a Habs fan, and I just did not like him at all in the end, as it turned out. But that's the way it goes. I've got to come to grips with the fact that there's been franchises that have had more success than the ones that I want to win. See, in my mind, the next Canadian-based NHL team to win the Stanley Cup should be the Winnipeg Jets, or the Toronto Maple Leafs, or the Vancouver Canucks, or the Calgary Flames. If it's not those four, then it better not be the Montreal Canadiens, Edmonton Oilers, or Ottawa Senators. That's as simple as that when it comes to me.
Okay, hang on, Les. From the audience, you got them all riled up, which is kind of what you do. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Trevor, my buddy Trevor Harris. His name is Trevor Harris, and he's an announcer and producer at WQAM here in Miami. He goes, hello, peeps. Not Blade the movie? I'm like, no, the Saskatoon Blades. That's the hockey team. There's not a lot of teams named the Blades, of course. Jason in Red Deer says, wasn't there a CFL official with the last name Lazaruk? That's Ken. Are you guys
Certainly
related?
was.
Are you related?
Distantly, yes. Yes, distantly.
Okay, I figured.
He's like a second or third cousin.
Brent from Saskatoon writes in and says, Les is living dangerously. Tony from Cochrane says, right on, Les. It's ABE for us Calgarians as well. Anybody but Edmonton. And Jeremy in Winnipeg says, always hating winners. Typical. Go Habs. That's from Jeremy in Winnipeg. Oh, my God. They're going off. They're going. Way to go, Les. I wanted to talk to you, and you got the viewers all jumping up and down, going crazy. Well, let me just say this. Listen, as hockey people as we are, I'm getting a kick out of this. Old-time Western League guys, like you said, with Kelly McCrimmon. We're just sitting back going, Kelly's up to his old tricks.
Exactly. This is the thing I was saying yesterday on my commentary that I do daily here on the radio in Saskatoon, is when I was asked, when I said, okay, I'm going to pick the conference, I'd said yesterday that Vegas would win in 6 games over Colorado because I have learned over the years following the Saskatoon Blades, playing against Kelly McCrimmon's Brandon Wheat Kings, that you do not bet against Kelly McCrimmon when he has a team together. And he's got a good team together in Vegas. Carter Hart. Who thought that Carter Hart would be the guy in goal after the things he's gone through personally the last number of years? All of a sudden, here he is standing tall between the pipes for the Vegas Golden Knights and possibly going to there's a lot of series left to go. Don't get me wrong. Colorado could very well figure this out and come through. But I wouldn't be surprised if Vegas with Kelly McCrimmon and then add in John Tortorella behind the bench, the master puppeteer who's not guaranteed to be back as head coach next season. I would not be surprised if my 6-game prediction for Vegas to win over Colorado comes true.
Sure, and then they go in and win game 1, so now they just need 3 more.
Exactly.
For anybody that knows Kelly, nobody's surprised. But I'm just getting a kick out of all the NHL hockey people and the media. They're like, who is this? What's going on? It's Kelly McCrimmon 101. He has not changed.
That's right.
So while we talk about this, Dan in Winnipeg writes in and he says, who do you think will bring in the torch at the Bell Center for the first? The other night I was out with some college football players in Fort Lauderdale here, Lester. Like, what's with that torch thing? That's really cool. So I explained to them the history. Yep. Listen, you got to love it. And I addendum here, or a disclaimer, whatever you want to say. Chris Nyland will be on in this segment tomorrow with us. He carried out the torch for whatever game 4 last series, I think. And it's a football Friday, but Chris Knuckles Nyland is royalty. The only day that he could do it was Friday. So Knuckles will be on in this space tomorrow talking about Montreal Canadiens. But that torch thing, they've had Carbonneau, they've had Serge Savard, they've had the Roadrunner. Do you spend 2 seconds thinking about who it might be, or do you hate the Habs that much?
I do hate them a lot, but a lot of it has it really helped them? I mean, their their home record is terrible. Their road record is wonderful. This is typical NHL. The teams that go out on the road go out there to try and make sure that the home team can't win and celebrate with their fans. And it happens more often than not in hockey than it does in any other sport. And it just says something about the character of hockey players. You can lose at home in Game 6, but come back and win Game 7. So I admire the Montreal Canadiens for being able to do that twice already. They better hope that they come away with at least 1, if not 2 wins on the road to start off this series with Carolina, because I don't think it's going to matter who ends up coming out with the torch in Game 3 at home. But, I don't know. I mean, Guy Carbonneau, maybe Yvon Lambert. Bring him out. Why
Yeah.
not? Steve Penny, bring out, shock the world and bring out Patrick Waugh. Wouldn't that be something?
Well, speaking of goalie, I'm
happen.
saying no, it won't happen. I'm saying Carey Price until it is Carey Price. I'd heard that it would have been Carey Price by now. Again, as old Western League guys that we are. By the way, did you happen to see, you mentioned the NHL and hockey guys. Did you see the NHL won the award last night for League of the Year at the Sports Business Journal Awards? I don't know if you saw that or not, but of all the leagues, and there seems to be one popping up every day, the NHL won Sports League of the Year in North America. Clearly, you've seen that things are going right in the NHL these days.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't aware of that award, but nice. I'm glad to see that hockey getting its due in the United States. And it's probably about the only good thing that's happened as far as people in Canada are concerned about the hockey doing well in the United States is the fact that the Americans keep on beating the Canadians in major tournaments. Take a look at the Olympics, take a look at the World Juniors, et cetera, et cetera. It keeps on happening that way for the most part. And so it's brought hockey to the forefront behind the NFL, of course, because nothing competes with the NFL. But certainly the NHL is making inroads into the American marketplace alongside baseball and the NBA and giving both those sports a pretty good run for their money.
And our viewers will get a kick out of this, but I just saw a news release this morning. I don't know if you saw that, but this was the most viewed second round in America for the U.S. for the NHL ever. Highest ratings for a second round. So they're not lying. I just thought, because every league, the Kentucky Derby was the most watched. Round one of the NFL draft was the most. Everything's the most watched. Have you noticed?
Yeah, well, the streaming services are a big part of that. The fact that you can watch on your phone, on your computer, whatever the case may be, find some way. It's not just having a television set that you sit in front of anymore to watch your favorite events. There's all kinds of ways to view, and the viewing opportunities are much greater, and people are starved for entertainment. So why not bring that on? And you're seeing the records breaking almost all the time. So why not?
And quality entertainment. They're looking for quality entertainment, which I'd like to think this show is that. And that, that's why I've started bringing my Canadian friends on this U.S. hour that we have on Nevada, because the viewers are liking my friends and what you bring, because it's different from what everybody else is talking about. And speaking of that, there's a huge. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say I'm as different as they come. So I appreciate that, Rod. I resemble that remark.
That's why we get along. You think I haven't made a living out of being different? I made a career of it.
You betcha.
Saturday night, Saskatchewan Roughriders, Winnipeg Blue Bombers preseason game at Griffith Stadium in Saskatoon. Frankly, I never thought I'd see the day. That's quite a novelty.
35 years since it last happened. It used to happen all the time, Rod. Before my time here in Saskatoon, before your time in the media, just before our times here, 88, 89, 90, and 91, they played, the Roughriders did, exhibition games against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers here in Saskatoon. Not at Griffith Stadium. This will be the first time ever that the Riders will play an exhibition game at the University of Saskatchewan campus. They played at Gordie Howe Bowl, which is where the Hilltops, the junior football team, plays its home games. And that's where those Rider exhibition games were held back in 88, 89, 90, and 91. But there hadn't been anything since then. And all of a sudden, you get the game this year because of the World Cup. Toronto only has so many home games. They've had to put some of them away because of the World Cup of Soccer. Saskatchewan only has time to have their number of home games. So if you're going to get one from Toronto, where do you put it? Well, you put it in Saskatoon and, fill up Griffith Stadium. There's only about 5,000 seats. There's going to be about 10,000 people there for the historic event on Saturday, and it should be a wild time because it is usually a pretty wild time when the university team plays in that kind of atmosphere and in that bowl configuration with the standing room only people. It'll be different for the players. They're going to experience something a lot different than what they're used to in a normal CFL stadium setting.
Well, for sure. And one of our prime viewers in Las Vegas is Ray Elgard, who would have played in one of those games back in the day. There's no doubt about it. But a lot of them were just rookie games. I mean, this is preseason game 2 for Saskatchewan. So they're going to get a game, I would think. Like a game.
They're going Yeah, no, they're going to get a game. I mean, the Riders played a lot of rookies in game one back on Monday in Calgary. I expect that you'll see Trevor Harris under center for at least a quarter, if not two, on Saturday night. They haven't decided yet. We haven't been told here in Saskatoon at training camp what the Riders' plans are. Winnipeg should probably be playing mostly their rookies. I would be shocked if we saw Zach Collaros under center or Brady Oliveira at starting running back. I'd be stunned if we saw that, but I would expect to see Harris and AJ Ouellette and a lot of the starters in uniform getting a few reps in for preseason game number 2 here in Saskatoon, and that'll just really fire up the locals here even more for this particular contest.
We only got a couple minutes left. This is going far too fast for me, but I can't bring you on without asking about junior hockey. The Memmer starts Friday night. I got it written down. Yep. Kitchener versus the host, Kelowna Rock. You just parked right up. And Saturday, Everett versus Chicoutimi. You got a pick? You got a winner? What do you think?
I think the winner comes out of that game that you're going to see on Sunday. I think it's going to be Everett beating Chicoutimi in the final on the 31st of May. Don't ask me why. I mean, in the Western Hockey League, the Silvertips were the best team I saw all season long during the Blades run. Yeah, I mean, they had trouble with the Prince Albert Raiders. The Raiders had trouble with Everett. Everett was the best team in my mind. And that game that I saw in Everett with the Blades and the Silvertips, the Tips didn't even have Landon DuPont in the lineup. He's phenomenal. He's just an incredible talent. So I think Everett is going to be the team that finally breaks the WHL curse of not being able to win a Memorial Cup. The last time that happened was 2014 when the Edmonton Oil Kings won. Since then, it's been 5 Ontario League and 4 Quebec Maritimes League teams that have won. I think it's time for the Dub to win at home, so to speak. It's in Kelowna, but the Rockets aren't going to be the team that's going to win, unfortunately. It'll be Everett, and they're going to beat Chicoutimi in the final come Sunday the 31st.
I'm just writing this down, a great Memorial Cup preview there from Les. And we have less than 2 minutes, but when you were broadcasting Winnipeg Jets games, did you go on the road? Did you ever do games in the Montreal Forum?
Yes, absolutely.
What was your memory of that in 60 seconds? The hot dogs?
The shows in the press room were wonderful. No, just the whole atmosphere. I mean, as much as I don't like the Montreal Canadiens, I do have a lot of respect for traditions and great old buildings and great atmospheres. And certainly that was one of them. Montreal Forum was a great atmosphere, along with the Chicago Stadium. Incredible when the anthem was being played there. The Rangers was fun at Madison Square. The Maple Leaf Gardens was outstanding. I mean, any original 6 building with the history that they have, those are the things that I get revved up for. And so I really enjoyed getting a chance a couple of times to be involved in broadcast at the Montreal Forum.
Of course. Well, if you hate the opposition, you didn't hate our Regina Pats, did you, Les? How could you hate us? We're God's team.
I can never hate the Regina Pats. I don't want them to beat the Blades ever, but the Regina Pats, I'm very thankful to the Regina Pats for one thing that they did. Roddy, you remember when I had my 2000th career WHL broadcast?
Yep.
The Pats actually let the Saskatoon Blades hijack the pregame ceremony that night at the Brandt Center to play a video and honor me for my 2000th broadcast that night. And Connor Bedard, poor Connor Bedard's in the NHL now, but he's standing there on the blue line looking up at the clock and going, what are they doing? Why are we,
Connor Bedard honored you, Les, and that's what we got out of this. Sorry, we're out of time. We'll be right back on the RP Show.
Ready for a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band.
You know your man is working hard. He's worth a team.
Saturday, December 5th, Temple Garden Center.
Now.
The Gene Simmons Band performing your favorite classic hits. Tickets on sale now at sasktix.ca. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
Get ready to make unforgettable memories with your little ones at Elmo's Got the Moves, the all-new Sesame Street live show coming to your neighborhood. Friday, December 4th, Temple Garden Center. Tickets on sale now at Sask Tigs.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Welcome back to the RP Show, everybody on Silver State Sports and various streaming platforms and WQVZ Mission Radio. Shout out Rhino Radio. Love listening to his morning show on that station. The Radio Penitentiary. It's far more fun than it sounds. Check it out 6 to 10 every morning on Mission Radio 1700. Great hockey chat there with Les. I see Ross writing in. He says, what's Les's take on the Memorial Cup? We got Ross in Humboldt. There we got it. We got him answered for you. The memmer. Jeremy in Winnipeg says, the Habs are young and they are getting overwhelmed at home by the crowd and the torch. They will have to figure out how to overcome that. They're doing just fine. They're doing just great. They got to keep the torch going. And that's the thing. I'm getting this flack here in particularly Florida for jumping on the Golden Knights bandwagon. But whatever, I've been a Golden Knights supporter before I was ever into Florida NHL hockey. And the Montreal fans have been awesome to me too. I mean, I love how they've included me in this whole, who do you think is going to bring the torch out? It's a big deal. And a reminder, Friday, Chris Knuckles Nyland, the legend, will be on this show. He was tied up today. I can't remember what he said he was doing, but Knuckles Nyland brought out the torch. I can't remember what game it was. I was so excited to see him coming out the tunnel. It's such a huge, regarded secret. And all the Habs legends, man, for him to be part of that, and then for him to come on this show tomorrow. He's a good friend of mine. He's a recovery brother of mine. It's going to be fun talking hockey with Chris Knuckles Nyland tomorrow. The poll question, by the way, is who is the Stanley Cup Playoff MVP favorite? Thank you for Country Thunder. Biggest party of the summer coming to Craven, Saskatchewan, July 9th to the 12th, featuring Lainey Wilson and the RP Show and Creed. Get your tickets now at countrythunder.com/SK. The poll question options are for MVP. Montreal goalie Jakub Dobeš. Golden Knights forward Mitch Marner. Carolina forward Logan Stankoven, who nobody's really noticed him, but you will starting tonight probably, or other. And Wilfen Steinbach writes in, and he's got other. He says, MVP, Lane Hutson. He also says the helmet pad is good for turf contact. Look, I don't want to get into a holy war, and I don't feel it was this hour that we were talking about it. It was last hour. I'll bring everybody up to speed. I was out with a bunch of football guys the other night at a Mexican restaurant called La Bama, and Ed Warner was there. He was the offensive coordinator with Ohio State when they won the Natty under Urban Meyer, coached at Michigan, FAU, a lot of big schools. And he was just saying the Guardian caps are going to be more dangerous and cause more head injuries than not wearing Guardian caps, because he says when the helmets hit, they glance off each other without the Guardian caps. Now when they hit, they stop, causing a greater impact. So that's what Wilf is saying. But when you hit the ground, millions of dollars have been spent on research for this. So, I mean, I just, I can't have an opinion on everything. Wear the cap or don't. Play safe. Thank you, Jeremy in Winnipeg says Knuckles Nyland was Game 6 versus Tampa Bay. Sounds about right. Tony from Cochrane writes that he says it'll be a tough choice if the Habs take it all. For Conn Smythe, we still got 2 series to go. That's usually it sorts itself out. As the scouts would say, my dad being one, the decisions make themselves. Thank you, Jason and Red Deer, for updating. 49% voting for Mitch Marner. 41% for Dobeš. 8% say, yeah, nobody's even heard of Stankoven. And he's doing historic things for Carolina. And I love the Montreal fans. The Toronto fans can go jump in the lake as far as I'm concerned because they're so annoying. And the media is worse. Mitch Marner's doing unbelievable things for the Vegas Golden Knights, and they won't acknowledge it. No, even when before this series, oh yeah, but he's not playing Boston. He's not playing Florida. He just rung it up against Colorado last night. Like, when are you guys going to give the guy his due? But they won't do it. And I hate that. Hate is a strong word. It just says more about them, doesn't it? It says way more about them. But the smile on Mitch Marner's face really says it all. One more segment left. It's overtime. Get your questions and comments in 902-518-3033 or the YouTube chat. We'll be right back. You are tuned into the RP show on Silver State Sports.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and
Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge, big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca. Blazing into the overtime segment brought to you by Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary. Big hockey people there, as you know, 28th Street, Northeast Calgary. It's an amusement park for hockey players. The kids are all excited. They are watching the Stanley Cup Playoffs. They're beating up your shins, playing mini sticks. You can drop them off at Overtime Hockey Lanes and let Randy and Michelle look after them all day. Or personalized shooting training. They're doing that too. You want to be the next Connor Bedard? They got you covered there too. Again, Overtime Hockey Lanes, Calgary, 28th Street, Northeast. From the text line, Jeremy in Winnipeg says it's still crazy Mitch Marner could win a Conn Smythe. Didn't see that coming with how the Maple Leafs tenure went. Say it with me. It's not really a phrase or a mantra, but when you get shown the door from a dysfunctional organization, just go prosper elsewhere and do not look back. That's exactly what Mitch Marner is doing. And, yeah, let's just enjoy the hockey. The teams that are dysfunctional are always blaming the players, and they continue to spin their gears. The players go prosper elsewhere. The players were the problem. They're not the problem. But for whatever reason, they can't see that. Viewers saying the 2 hours flies by. It does. I'm not going to argue with it. It's the highlight of my day. I'll tell you that for free. I promised a sports update, didn't I? Here's what's going on. In his first public comment since re-signing with the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers said that the upcoming season will be his last in the NFL, an announcement that allows the future Hall of Famer to have his farewell tour that his career deserves. This according to Yahoo.com. After being taken out of the lineup as a precautionary measure in each of his previous 3 pitching starts, Shohei Ohtani returned to being a true two-way star on Wednesday. The results? He homered on the first pitch of the game and then proceeded to lower his ERA to 0.73 with 5 scoreless innings and a 4-0 win over the Padres. The Montreal Victoire shut out the Ottawa Charge 4-0 to clinch their first Walter Cup title, giving the Professional Women's Hockey League just its second champion after the Minnesota Frost won the title in each of the league's first 2 seasons. NBA Mavericks forward Cooper Flagg headlined the all-rookie first team, joined by Hornets guard Con Knuppel. Did I say that right? 76ers guard VJ Edgecombe, Spurs guard Dylan Harper, and Grizzlies forward Cedric Coward. Meanwhile, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder bounced back to beat the Spurs 122-113, and even the series on a night that was marred by injuries to Jalen Williams and Dylan Harper. Tonight, in the NBA, Cleveland at the Knicks. New York leads the series 1-0. While we're at it, might as well mention the MLB. Blue Jays at the Yankees series finale. Braves visiting the Marlins here in Miami. I won't be there. And the A's are at the LA Angels. And they will be catching it on this very station for those that are tuned into Silver State Sports. And closer to home, as they say, the Golden Knights took down the mighty Avalanche in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, winning 4-2 to hand Colorado. Just their second loss of these Stanley Cup playoffs. Dylan Coghlan opened the scoring with his first goal since 2021, ending a drought that had lasted over 1,600 days. I was getting a bit of a kick out of the comments of Gordy Stellick this morning on NHL radio. He's like, Dylan Coghlan hasn't scored since the turn of the century. I'm like, it's been 21 years? 26 years? No. 2021. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, can't wait for football Friday. Well, me either. For the Hour 1 viewers, Kevin the Medium will be with us. We'll go a little deeper into this weekend's CFL preseason games. We'll dabble a lot more in the NFL. But a reminder, Chris Knuckles Nyland will be on in the Nevada Hour and talking Stanley Cup playoffs. Literal royalty, as you know, of the National Hockey League and, of course, of the Montreal Canadiens. Like, when they bring out the torch in that place, there's nothing better in hockey. Very few in all of sports. And Chris Nyland did it. Thank you, Jeremy in Winnipeg, for clarifying it was Game 6 of the Tampa Bay series. So Knuckles will be with us tomorrow, and everybody's excited about that. He's just a good guy. We'll be reviewing tonight's Game 1 between Montreal and Carolina. And for those that missed it, I'm going with Carolina for this Game 1, but I mean, noticing as the playoffs go along and we get deeper and deeper, the games are getting a lot harder to predict. Have you noticed that? Mm-hmm. We mentioned the MLB and the NBA, so that's about it. I do want to shout out again. It doesn't surprise me that our guest today didn't see this on his radar, but the National Hockey League winning the Sports Business Journal Award for the League of the Year. Record ratings for round 2 in the U.S. on ESPN and TNT. They got some really cool and great things going on. I get this. A lot of the viewers are following the World Hockey Championships because maybe their team is out of it, or their team didn't even make the playoffs. Tony from Calgary or everybody from Winnipeg. But it's been a hell of a lot of fun being on the Golden Knights bandwagon and also the Montreal Canadiens. And as I say, I'm getting a lot of flack for switching teams and throwing my support behind other teams. Why would I pick one when I got friends on all the teams? Just makes... There's a story behind that and why, but we don't have time now in the 40 seconds that we have left. Maybe another day. I had business lessons from a guy by the name of Paul Hill. He was my boss for 23 years. I learned a thing or two from the man. Yeah, go Habs, go, because Coach DeBuck isn't here. Yeah, where is he? He's busy polishing his trophy, I'm sure. Okay, thanks to Les Lazro. Thanks to Kevin the Medium, producer Corey, and the whole gang. We'll see you all tomorrow for a whole lot of football talk and fun here on the RP Show.
That.